Comics have had a long and storied past. When studying the superhero archetype, we learned that what makes a classic hero is the tendency to act selflessly rather than out of his or her own self-interest. Today, heroes usually still act selflessly, but that's about the only thing that looks the same. In the 1930s, comics played very much to privileged audiences. Superman is an alien from another planet, and yet somehow he's still a white heterosexual male. The way Batman is generally portrayed is pretty much the definition of hypermasculinity. Villains frequently looked like walking stereotypes, from Italian mob bosses to Mexican drug lords to rich and powerful Arab sheiks. These signs are indicative of a system where the status quo is being reinforced, even glorified. The superheroes are possibly the pinnacle of fantasy fulfillment, and the system those days consisted of saying, wouldn't it be perfect if things were the way that they are, except even more so? Since the early 40s, we've seen a rise in comics which push boundaries and social norms more than they enforce them. The 60s brought Black Panther, the first black superhero in mainstream comics, and today the character is seeing a revitalization both in movies and in a new ongoing comic series being written by a civil rights scholar. Today, superheroes still represent the best side of humanity through their actions, but now they have come to physically and socially represent all of humanity through their diversity. Miss Marvel, Kamal Khan, is a first-generation Pakistani American whose face was already used in anti-racism campaigns in New York a year after she was created in 2014. Not only are the heroes changing faces, but the stereotyped bad guys are sight much less frequent. Now we have evil geniuses using society's negative dialogue as their secret weapon, from the inventor who finds and utilizes millennials who have been told they're lazy and entitled their whole lives, to the latest version of Hydra who uses gentrification to force elitist change in America. While we will always look up to superheroes, these days comics are not so much a venue to reinforce norms anymore as they are a tool to question the status quo.